Alrighty, y'all. Part two. Welcome back. So this is my story and immigration and how all of this came about. How I'm a British citizen and crazily how I'm a British citizen, and you guys can understand my journey a little bit. Okay, so pardon me. All right, born in Kings Lynn, which is Norfolk, England. About 2.5 hours northeast of London. Okay. Mom meets my dad. Dad's military, Air Force, in the UK at the time. So yeah, they have a brief relationship. Dad gets transferred to another country. At the time he was in the UK. I believe he went to Japan. And mom's pregnant. Dad doesn't know mom's pregnant. So, nevertheless, mom meets stepdad. I was about 6 months old, so mom had me, single mother, with my older sister as well. So mom at this time is 18, 19 years old with her second child. So, nevertheless, mom meets stepdad. They hit it off, on and off relationship for several years. And then my sibling comes about, my sister, who's 3 years younger than me. After that, mom and stepdad have another child. On and off relationship, quite messy. A lot of stuff going on there. A lot of exposure there when I was a child. A lot of violence, a lot of infidelity, cheating, all that good stuff. So a lot of influence there in my young adolescent life, that I did see, which had a big impact on me as an adult. So nevertheless, mom, stepdad separate, and stepdad gets another woman pregnant, and from there she starts coming around, and her mom arguing, fighting. It's just a big mess with that whole situation. Stepdad ends up getting in trouble while in the military, and from there he was arrested. He's arrested, goes to prison in the military, whatever the hell that's called. Goes to prison in the military. In this time, I'm approximately 8 years old. Seen a lot, been exposed to a lot. Then mom tells us, hey, kids, mind you, it's 4 of us, my older sister, myself, and my 2 siblings from my stepdad. Mom says, hey, we're moving to America. Totally taken back. I'm 9 years old. I've never been to the United States. Have no idea what the United States is about. My only exposure had been the UK. That was all I knew. So as you can imagine, it was a very scary time. Young child, 9 years old, a whole different place, and not knowing the people we were going to stay with. Apparently, we was going to go stay with my stepfather's mom and dad, who I never met, had no clue who these people were. So anyway, ended up going to the United States. We touched down South Carolina. Okay, I'm in South Carolina, and from South Carolina, I go to school. I start in the 4th grade. 4th grade experience in South Carolina. Little boy calls me a nigger. I'm biracial. I'm half black, half white. My mom is British and my dad is black. I never even heard the word nigger. I had no idea what they even meant. You know what I mean? Like, never in my life have I heard that. So all the kids on the bus are like, you gonna let them call you that? Like, I'm like, what does it even mean? I don't even know what it means. I'm from the UK, And I was told what it was meant by the other children, the little black kids that was riding the bus with me. They told me what what that meant. So I'm like, oh, no way, you're not going to call me that and get away with that. So I'm in the 4th grade. I just got to this country. I jump on this little boy. Understand I'm from the UK, okay? We're fighting. You go see the headmaster. You get a smack with the ruler. It's a done deal. There's no suspensions or anything like that. So anyway, I jump on this little kid, and I beat him up pretty bad. I get suspended in the 4th grade for 3 days. I had no idea what a suspension was. I had no idea you wasn't supposed to put your hands on other children. I was from a country where you don't put your hands on other children, but if you do, there's no such thing as suspension. You would go see the headmaster, you would be disciplined, and you would assure that you would not conduct yourself in that manner anymore, and that was the end of it. So I get suspended 4th grade. And I'm like, not even understanding. This kid called me something, grievous, outrageous, like, at such a young age, I felt like there was no violation on my part. But of course there was. This is the American judicial system we're talking about. This is going to be a long journey. So stick with me, guys, because this is not just going to be a discussion of my legal status, but it's also going to be a discussion of how things went so left for me with my involvement with law enforcement, my time that I did throughout the penal system in the United States, many different states on the East Coast and the West Coast. Hell of a story. Nevertheless, so I'm in the United States, 4th grade. 4th grade carries on. Stepdad gets out of prison, comes to South Carolina. Now we're all one big happy family. So during this time, I'm 10 years old. Stepdad comes home. So 10 to 16, I went to school in the United States. I started in the 4th grade, and I went all the way through my junior year in high school, which I went to a high school in South Carolina, Broome High School. For y'all who do know me, So yeah, anyway, I'm in Broome High School, my junior year. Now I'm starting to figure out, I'm asking, my mom and stepdad, why can't I get a job? Like, I want to get a job, I want to start working. Well, you're not here legally. You're illegally here in this country. I'm like, what? I didn't even ask to come here. Like, you guys have me here illegally? So, junior year, mom, stepdad devise a wonderful plan. We're going to take you back to the UK, and then we'll come back to America. So, nevertheless, get to the UK. I get to the UK, now I'm legal, but there's a lot of undocumented stuff there. Yes, I was in school, but there was no legalities there. I wasn't here legally. So, anyway, I go to a place called Mildenhall Upper School. Mildenhall Upper School, I studied my GCSEs. I was far too advanced for GCSEs, very good in school. I was very dedicated in school. So I was then put to A-levels. So I did my A-levels briefly. So I'm in upper school, and stepdad comes up with a great idea. Hey, you shouldn't be in school. You're 16. You should be working. You should be helping paying bills. Okay. So then I'm forced to get a job and drop out of school. So I drop out of school and I get a job. And when I get a job, I worked at a factory. It was a meat factory. And in the time of me working at this meat factory, I had an injury at work where I got my hand caught in a machine and it crushed my hand. So just so you guys can see, this is the scar of where my hand was crushed at 16 years old in a machine, because stepdad thought it would be a great idea to go to work and not continue my education at 16 years old. So I have this accident. My uncle, who lives in Norwich, UK, catches wind of this and says, hey, this is crazy. You pulled him out of school for this kid to work, and he's from America. He's been in the American judicial system. He doesn't understand, here, you're technically an adult at 16. He still thinks like an American kid, which is going to be a lot less advanced than a British kid, because British kids start school at 4 and they graduate at 16. In America, you don't start school until you're 5, and you don't graduate until you're 18. And even at 18 years old, you're still going to be in a classroom, and you're still going to have to raise your hand to use the bathroom. At 16 in England, you're already in upper school. You're no longer raising your hand to use the bathroom. It's on you if you choose to come to class or not. So, nevertheless, I'm in the UK. Okay, over there, mom, stepdad try to leave me. Uncle catches wind of this, not so happy. Like, nah, you guys aren't gonna do that. So, at this time I was living with my uncle, who had taken me from my parents, and said, hey, you need to come to a more stable environment, not somebody trying to work you and make you pay bills. Somewhere where you can actually continue education. So I moved up with my uncle to Norwich, and that's where I did go to college. I went to Norwich City College, and that's where I studied business management, economics. Great time in my life. I did that for a couple of years, And this was the time that mom and stepdad decided they were going to leave me in the UK and magically disappear back to America. My uncle wasn't having that, so I was like, nope, you're not just going to come here, drop your son off on me and leave him, and then just leave him in the country that he doesn't even really know anything about. He was very young when you guys took him from here. So you need to do the right thing. So mom and stepdad, then did apply for me to get a visa. So I was given a visa. Okay. So I moved back to the United States. I'm at this time 18 years old. 18 years old. So I moved back to the United States. Upon getting to the United States, stepdad still has a lot of hatred there. A very tumultuous relationship there with my mom and her husband. He decides he doesn't like some of the friends that I have come to the house to see me at 18 years old and decides to kick me out the house. Kicks me out the house, and at 18 years old, first out of college, back and forth from these two countries, never really any real security. I have to go live in a homeless shelter. So a homeless shelter I go to. And from there, I had nothing. I had no family, no support, no education, because I had to drop out of college in the UK to come back to America. I had to drop out of high school to go to the UK. I was never able to settle to establish my education. And mind you, honor student in high school, A-levels in upper school, and I went to a city college. I didn't go to a university or anything. So, I always excelled in education. I always had good grades, something I strive for and look forward to. So nevertheless, I'm back in America. And this is when all of the madness started, when I was left to be homeless and no support system, no means of income, no education, nothing documented. This is when the madness began. So this is the beginning of my story of immigration, the mistakes that I made and how I went from a kid in the UK, Norwich City College, studying business management and economics, to a large scale cocaine dealer in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Stay tuned. Get back with another story with you guys here shortly. Stay blessed.